Hey, I'm Matt Orfalea, and I had the great opportunity to interview Rutger Bregman, the author of Utopia for Realists. Let's get to it. Now, when you go around, with these utopian ideas, like a basic income, you said that, unsurprisingly, you get a lot of people who don't believe that it's possible. And you say you think the reason, or a reason, that a lot of people respond negatively to your utopian ideas is because people are conditioned to think negatively by the media. Can you explain why that is, or what it is about the media that would make people oppose a basic income and think more negatively in general?
Well, the news is always about exceptions, right? The news is always about violence, terrorism, corruption, people committing benefit fraud or whatever. It's always about the 0.1% or the 0.00001%. It's never about what happens every day. It's about what happens today. So if you watch a lot of the news, at the end of the day, you'll have a really bleak image of human nature because you're only hearing about things that go wrong, about people that mess up, about people that are violent, that are people want to rig the system, etc., etc. And a basic income policy is determined or is based on the majority of people. It's not the system of Social Security we have now is based on like the 0.0% of all people that want to commit fraud. If everyone would be like that, then the system we have now is perfect. The problem is that 99% of all people want to make something of their lives. We've got a mountain of evidence that most people are pretty nice, that they want to get up in the morning, do something, contribute to the common good. That's what we find time and time again in all the basic income experience around the globe. I really do believe that, our very high media consumption, up to 5 hours a day of television in the US on average, it's not very good for our image of human nature. So I always say to people who are pessimistic, is just throw your television out of the window and read more books. Talk to real people.
Now, you work in the media yourself as a writer mostly, and I appreciate the work you do tackling complex issues like poverty and possible solutions to poverty, but I'm concerned about the future of journalism because news outlets are publishing less and less in-depth investigative journalism in favor of more clickbait articles like, what did Kim Kardashian eat for breakfast, because it's easier to produce and generates more clicks and more money. It's just more profitable. And also another problem is now in our, internet media environment where content is free and making money off advertising, that's not even working anymore either, thanks to ad block software. YouTube is demonetizing political content. I don't know if you've heard about that. But so content, yes, we have crowdfunding, but that doesn't, to me, it doesn't seem sustainable because incomes are falling, in America at least. And as incomes continue to fall, most Americans won't be able to spend. They'll just be spending less money on crowdfunding. So without some radical change, large majority of people willing and able to do this quality journalism in the public's interest will not be getting sustainable funding. So I'm curious how you think a basic income would affect the future of journalism, because I'm worried it may be necessary to save journalism and the internet from becoming just completely swallowed by shallow self-promotion and clickbait. What do you think?
Well, let me first say that I work at a Dutch online journalism platform called The Correspondent. And we started just 4 years ago. And we are completely ad-free, so no ads at all. We are entirely funded by members. We've got 55,000 now, so quite substantial already. And we're going to start next year in the US as well. Nice. And the whole idea behind The Correspondent is that, in the first place, we don't cover the news. Because I said that if you watch a lot of the news, at the end of the day, you know exactly how the world is not working. So we want to talk more about the forces that are in the background, but that really determine our lives. From climate change to the decline in child mortality since the 1990s, new ideas about how we can make this world a better place, etc. So it's a different kind of journalism. But the model behind it, the financial model behind it is also different. As I said, we don't rely on ads. And what we say to our members is, well, we basically are trying to create a movement. So we've experimented, for example, with different pop-ups. Everyone can read our articles, or all members can share our articles for free. So if you want, you can just read oral articles. So the reach of our journalism is as high as possible. But then when people come to our website and they aren't a member yet, they see a pop-up. And what many journalism organizations do is say, hey, we see that you're not paying for our stuff yet. Maybe you should, because then you get all these material benefits. You know, you get this newspaper, or we'll send you an email every day, or whatever. We do something completely different. What we say is, hey, you're not a member yet. Do you want to join our movement? Do you want to change the Netherlands? Do you want to make more of this kind of journalism possible? So we really try to appeal to the idealism of people. And it's incredibly effective. I mean, we're growing we're the only growing news organization or journalism organization in the Netherlands right now. I think that's really the future of quality journalism. For a long time, quality journalism could rely on both subscription and ads. And now you see subscriptions going down and ads going all the way up. And then at the end, there's no journalism left. So what you should do is get rid of all ads and solely rely on your members and make it a movement.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but my concern is that that's not, I mean, if the trend continues of, you know, full-time work being converted to part-time work with less pay, less job security for most Americans, I mean, I'm just very concerned that.
Well, and I mean, I obviously agree that a basic income would help here. I mean, there's one other fascinating phenomenon that I discovered in the past few years, and that's the phenomenon of the part-time bullshit job. So what happens here, and you see this a lot in journalism, is that people do work, or journalists do work for companies they hate, you know, writing ads content or whatever. And then they use that money to do investigative journalism into exactly those kind of companies. So in modern capitalism, we finance the stuff that we really care about with bullshit. You know, it's completely upside down. And obviously, a basic income would really, really help here, because then people would immediately be able to start with the valuable stuff and skip the nonsense.